Hello everybody, Twitch has recently rolled out a new feature that you can only access through beta testing right now, and it's called Twitch Soundtrack. Effectively, to sum up the problem, Twitch, a huge corporation, has found loopholes in order to pay authors of music in exposure instead of money. Today, Twitch announced Soundtrack. Twitch Soundtrack is a huge step forward for live streamers. Unfortunately, it's a huge step backwards for musicians. Twitch Soundtrack is Twitch's largest effort to date to address the music problem on its platform. As with most services, they want to offer Soundtrack free to their broadcasters. One way they could achieve this is to pay musicians to license their work, like Facebook Gaming did. Instead, Twitch went the route of exposure. When you use Twitch Soundtrack as a broadcaster, you're required to give up screen real estate for the required attribution of the music. This attribution is the only compensation that a musician will receive for their music being used in a live stream. And this is the picture of how it comes up when you are using Soundtrack. Like, it comes up as this little box, and you can see what the song is, and you can go and purchase said music if you want. Now, there are apparently 3 types of licenses for different kinds of music works that you normally have to pay as a corporation, and Twitch actually managed to jump through the hoops enough to not pay a single one. Twitch does pay public performance. Twitch does in fact have blanket performance licenses with performing rights organizations. However, usage information is never provided to the PROs, requiring the PROs to treat the performance royalties under the terms of black box income. What this means is that even though the musician's music is being played on all over Twitch, Twitch doesn't report what music was played to the PROs, therefore PROs can't pay the royalties to the proper musicians. Therefore, the licensing companies get paid, musicians don't get paid. Twitch Soundtrack is non-interactive to avoid paying mechanicals. Twitch Soundtrack will never have the ability for you to create your own playlists. You will never be able to search for a song you want to play. You will never be able to go back to the previous song, and you should not be able to jump around or seek within the song while it's playing. These features require the desktop music player to be interactive. The reason why Twitch wants to keep Soundtrack non-interactive is so that they can classify it as internet radio. Twitch Soundtrack does not have synchronization licensing. Music played for Twitch Soundtrack can only be in your live stream. This is because Twitch Soundtrack has not bothered to secure synchronization rights for all of the content in the Soundtrack catalog. Twitch is using a legal loophole called ephemeral use to skirt over the responsibility of paying sync licensing to musicians for live broadcast. There is, however, no debate that VODs and clips do not qualify for ephemeral use, which is why Twitch has to remove the music from them. So effectively, you can use this function where you cannot search for music that you want to play, you cannot make your own playlists to play music while you're playing games, but at the same time, very awkwardly, when you export all of this into video on demand, which is what videos become after you stream them to Twitch, music just goes away because Twitch does not want to pay royalties of any sorts to the musicians. There are quite a few ways that this might backfire on Twitch itself. For one thing, you can still get DMCA takedowns. But also, word of warning, with Twitch using partners such as SoundCloud and DistroKid, anybody will be able to submit their music to Twitch Soundtrack. It will be interesting to see if any bootlegs or unlicensed remixes make it through their curation onto the soundtrack. For example, if an artist made an unlicensed remix of Drake's Tootsie Slide, submitted to the Twitch Soundtrack through SoundCloud, and it made it into the player, the broadcasters would be susceptible to DMCA takedowns since Drake's record label never actually signed off on the use of the original recording being allowed on Twitch. Effectively, this new Twitch system does not make you DMCA immune, which is the whole issue about not being able to play music that you want in your broadcasts on Twitch to begin with, which is what Twitch is trying to solve through this. But because unlike Facebook Gaming, they don't want to pay artists a dime, you get a system that doesn't work ideally, and that you can't customize, and that might still get you DMCA'd. Thumbs up. That is Twitch for ya. So this is what's happening in the Twitch world. I believe that you definitely deserve to know this. Everybody deserves to know this. And Twitch should definitely not be praised for their new tool, because it's not a great tool. It's not a great tool, and they're definitely trying to do it on the cheap side by not paying any musicians. I suppose as a creator you could use a royalty-free soundtrack off YouTube and just let it play in the background instead, because the artist actually wholeheartedly agreed to this thing being used the way that it's being used. Well, in this way, it's maybe their label agreed. That doesn't mean that they're gonna get any money. In fact, this article states that it's about one song purchase for 1,500 listens or so. So every 1,500 listens or so, you might get maybe 99 cents. Yay for artists! What a great system. But anyways, thank you for watching gaming and gaming related news. I will be back with a report again tomorrow. Sorry for missing yesterday. I was tired and I went to sleep. Plus I kind of felt like I spammed you with Bloodlines videos, so I didn't want to make a third video that day. I hope I'm gonna see you soon. If you like my channel, please subscribe. Toodaloo.